It's a question I think a lot of us have as we get older. How in the world do we hold onto our strength, our muscle, and is the answer really as simple as just eating more and more meat? Well, today we're going to dig into the science and see if there's maybe a smarter way. Okay, let's be real, this is a fear that hits so many of us, right? You hit 40, maybe 50, and you start to feel like you're on this unavoidable downward slide when it comes to muscle. But is it really inevitable? Is it just a fact of life? That's what we're here to figure out. Yeah, this is the story we always hear, isn't it? The conventional wisdom says muscle loss is coming for all of us, and the only weapon we have is to pile our plates high with animal protein. But is that the whole picture, or is there more to it? Let's take a much closer look. So let's play detective for a minute. Before we jump to solutions, we have to really understand the problem. What is actually happening inside our bodies with our muscles as the years go by? So there's a fancy scientific name for this, sarcopenia. It's that slow, gradual loss of muscle, strength, and just general function. And here's the key. While it's associated with aging, it's not simply a matter of blowing out more candles on your birthday cake. As you're about to see, there's a lot more going on under the hood. I want you to picture your muscle health like a constant tug of war happening inside your body 24/7. On one side of the rope, you have muscle building, or synthesis, which is all about repair and growth. And on the other side, you have muscle breakdown, which is just a natural part of living. Whether you gain, lose, or just maintain muscle, all comes down to who wins this tug of war each day. And this is where things get really interesting, because that tug of war, it's not just about protein. So many other things are pulling on that rope. Things like how active we are or aren't, hormonal shifts, even our overall metabolic health. Things like insulin resistance and chronic inflammation. It's a way bigger, more complex picture than just eat more steak. Okay, get ready for this, because this next part is the real aha moment of this whole discussion. It's a concept that completely flips that old more is better advice about protein right on its head. So let's just cut to the chase with a direct question. If you're trying to build muscle, is slamming a 60-gram protein shake really twice as good as a 30-gram one? Is more always better? Well, the science is pretty clear on this, and the answer is a big nope. It turns out there's a limit, a threshold. For older adults, research shows that somewhere around 30 to 40 grams of protein in one sitting is the sweet spot to get the biggest possible muscle-building bang for your buck. And this chart right here shows you exactly what I mean. See how that line goes up? That's your muscle-building response getting stronger as you eat more protein. But then it just flattens out. It hits a ceiling. Piling on more protein past that point doesn't make the line go any higher. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, the bottom line is this. Your body doesn't have a savings account for protein. Anything you eat beyond that threshold doesn't get stored for later muscle-building projects. It just gets burned for energy or flushed out of your system. It's a classic use it or lose it situation. Okay, so that leads to a really important question, right? If the goal is just hitting that 30 to 40 gram sweet spot with each meal, can we actually do that with plants? Or are we stuck with animal protein? Now look, it's true there are some differences. We can't ignore them. Animal proteins generally have a bit more leucine, that's a key amino acid that kind of kicks off the muscle-building process, and they digest faster. Plant proteins can be a little lower in leucine and tend to digest a bit slower, but these are not deal breakers. They're just variables we need to account for. And honestly, this is the most important thing to remember from this whole discussion. Your muscles, they don't have eyes. They don't care if the protein came from a chicken or a chickpea. They just care about getting the right signal. So the only question that truly matters is this. Did you get enough protein in this meal to flip that muscle-building switch? So the strategy actually becomes super simple and super actionable. It's not about being afraid of plants. It's just about being smart. First, make sure you're eating enough calories overall. Second, focus on those plant-based powerhouses like beans, lentils, and soy. And third, and this is the big one, spread your protein out across the day, aiming to hit that threshold with each meal. Okay, let's tie this all together into a practical game plan. What are the real non-nonsense takeaways for keeping your muscles strong as you age? So here they are, the real heavy hitters for muscle health. And pay attention to the order here because it's super important. Number one, and honestly it's not even close, is resistance training. You have to give your muscles a reason to grow and stick around. Then comes just eating enough food, enough calories. After that, we have smart protein distribution, hitting that threshold, and finally, all of this is supported by good metabolic health. See, protein is a piece of the puzzle, but it's definitely not the whole puzzle.
And this brings up a bigger, kind of philosophical point about our long-term goals. Maybe the end game shouldn't be about being in a state of constant maximum growth 24/7. Maybe a healthier, more sustainable approach for true longevity is finding that perfect balance. Stimulating our muscles, yes, but also giving our bodies the downtime they need for deep cellular repair.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. When you're in the gym, when you're planning your meals, what are you really optimizing for? Are you chasing short-term, maximum gains at any cost? Or are you playing the long game, building a resilient foundation for decades of strength, health, and vitality? The answer to that question? Well, it might just change everything.